Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Roxy Piles. It sounds like Shannon fell off the bed.
I'm here. I didn't fall. Just
Hello,
looking.
Governor.
Hello, dear.
Hello, Governor. How are you today?
Hi. I'm on the struggle bus as usual. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I know Big E's already out there. He's always first in the door. There's Diana. Hello, Diana. Good to see you, my. Been missing you guys. We've been kind of slack the past couple of weeks catching up from that vacation, so we're back again.
Come on, speak for yourself on the slacking part. Let me tell you, I've been
Uh, we've
working and
we've been
driving
slacking on
and
shows. We've been
working.
doing lots of other things. Ain't like we ain't been doing nothing.
Just
Painting
kidding.
houses, doing hair. You do what you gotta do to pay the bills, man. You do what you gotta do. Oh, where's my phone? Because I know the text messages will start about 5 minutes into the show. They're always there.
And I am not in my normal studio this evening. My computer needs to update, and that will take a million years. So I'm on my tablet. Hi, guys.
Hello, Kent. Thank you for joining us, darling. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, we're going to talk about a couple of things. I don't think we're going to get too deep and too serious on anything. Um, the first thing we were going to go over the Grand Canyon, a new some Ingersoll Lockwood, which is related to the movie, and just news in general of things going on in the world. But we're going to start. I found a YouTube channel this morning, and I haven't done a whole lot of digging on it to find out who he is. He's got about 40 videos up, I think. I like the way he presents his information because it's not presented with an explanation, it's presented with the question like we do, like the math ain't mathing. Let's figure out why. Oh, and I think we're going to touch on some AI centers too and some ice cold water. Don't ever forget that one, Shannon.
Oh, I won't.
Um, I run across a video of some cold salt water we're going to talk about. But in his video, he presents what is the name of his channel? The way he presents, I like the way he presents it because he gives you a couple of theories of why the math ain't mathing. And one of the things he was talking about, no, I don't want to watch myself live. I'm trying to find the YouTube I watched earlier. I shared it to Clayton. I shared one of them to Clayton, so I know it's there. Um, the guy's name is. I should have already had this pulled up. Of course, now there's going to be 3 commercials I got to get through. But he's talking about the Grand Canyon. And growing up as children, the story we were told about the Grand Canyon, the omitted record, YT, is the name of it. The omitted record, YT. I'll put it in the chat. It's the name of the channel that I was watching this morning when I come across a couple of videos which really intrigued me. Grand Canyon, catacombs, Tartaria, lots of stuff there, putting historical records together. But oh, there's no Z in there, folks. I can't spell. The omitted record YT. There we go. Maybe I got it right now. But his Grand Canyon, the first thing we bring up when you're looking at the math of the Grand Canyon is the sheer size of it. Okay, we were told as kids that some point a flood come through there and rainwaters and cut this trench through the earth and blah blah blah. Okay, the Colorado River is running through there, and it literally looks like a sprinkle compared to the Grand Canyon in size. If you go look at the grains of sand and the rocks and stuff within the Grand Canyon, those particles are not round. Water worn rock or stone is round. It has smooth edges. Rocks and stone which have been crushed or, broke loose will have sharp edges. The sand and stone in the Grand Canyon has sharp edges. So first off, the math ain't mathing. And if water come through there and cut those straight, sheer cliff faces in the Grand Canyon, Where's the rock at? If it washed it down the river, where's the rock at? That's a lot of rock. What you think, Shannon?
I would definitely agree. I think that there's a lot of buildings and things they just keep on discovering that that rock might be a part of. Just saying.
Well, and then when you get to the Grand Canyon, there's lots of areas in there that we're not allowed to go to. And if you try to fly a drone near those areas, it will turn your drone around and send it back. And if you don't know, they do have technology for that. If you airspace that you're not allowed to film or view into, they will send your drone back to home base. Lots of people go out there to the Grand Canyon and try it. Their drone always comes back. You'll get a warning on your screen that says you violated, so to speak, airspace and send it back to you. Why? It's a national park. I'm an American. I feel like I own part of that. Why can't I go look at it? The only reason you stop people from looking at stuff is if you lying about something, you hiding something. We know that there's sphinxes and pyramids in there they won't let us see. No, it couldn't have just been cut by water, Diana. It's impossible because the actual sediment and stone in there would have rounded edges, not sharp ones. And you're looking at straight, sheer cliff faces off of these things that are hundreds, thousands of feet in height. And when you look at it, it looks like a mine where they were mining gold or copper. And the gold rush went west, folks. And I'm not talking about that the gold rush is what carved the canyon. That's not what done it. That was done long before that. But as you move west, you find more metal, silver, gold, copper, those types of things.
And
Now
more
we
and more mountains and
absolutely
more giant things.
lots of
When you were
giant
out
things.
here in the West, granted, it's like the Southwest and all, and it is the very edge of the West. But, what was the thing you were talking to me about? Just kind of tripping out on how many hills and just a lot of
Yeah, girl,
crazy
it's flat over
altitude
here.
changes. Like over here, I'm pretty sure that when we're talking massive battles, like in the book of King Og, with the big giants as the great deluge is happening, the great floods, and they're hacking each other to bits and body parts, and giants are, falling on the ground and, croaking. Just throwing that out there. There's a lot of that here on the West Coast. Seems like there was this good portion of the further west you go in, the more crazy the terrain gets.
Yeah, it's uniquely different out there compared to what it looks like here. Because when I left Baltimore and was headed west, when you first leave, the first big noticeable thing you see out the window is the square fields and around in Illinois, that kind of area. And I was so excited I was going to get to see the Grand Canyon and stuff. We ran into that cloud bank and I ain't seen nothing. And I'm telling y'all, I think time stopped for 2 hours. I think I was stuck over Indiana somewhere. Like it was a really strange feeling. But and I can't describe that. But hang on, I'm gonna
If
put
you
this up
had
on the screen.
entered the twilight zone.
I felt like I had because it literally felt like the plane wasn't moving. Like I could hear the roar of the engine, but I couldn't, I don't know. It was like we weren't moving. All right. This is the Grand Canyon. Now, keep in mind we're looking at this on Google Earth, which still has it based on a globe. So I'm just going to say that up front. But anyway, if we're looking at the Grand Canyon, when you're looking right through here, I mean, that looks like water. You know what I'm saying? Like water as it, if you look at a continent or a landmass, as water comes down the mountain through the river, through the valleys, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
on back out to the ocean, you see this veining type structure. Water turns when it hits something. which is fine when you're looking at this, because when we zoom out, this very barren desert spot right here with the dots in the middle that we're looking at for the Green Canyon, you can kind of tell something happened there. Something got a little hot, something got a little charred, something ain't quite right with that. And we zoom in here, and at certain elevations, when you look in here, you start seeing that if you look at the 2-dimensional versus the 3-dimensional, that this whole theory of veining out from waters doesn't quite play, especially on the dimensions of some of this stuff and like how it looks in person, I guess you'd say, with your eyes when you're looking at it. And let's see, what is the name of that part of the Grand Canyon? What is it? The landmarks, the ones we were talking about that look like columns.
I'm not sure.
Is it landmarks or anyway? In the Grand Canyon, there is a spot where there are these symmetrical columns that look like they're lined up within the Grand Canyon. See, I still can't spell. Columns. The pillars. And when you look at them, they look an awful lot like a mining operation and how they do it. I was trying to find one. Okay. I don't know if we'll be able to see this picture very well. But see, when you're looking at this, see how these right here are in a straight row? You got another straight row, another straight row, and another straight row. Nature ain't straight. Nature don't line things up in lines. I mean, look at the right here. That first section from the left or from the right, that's one big long section. That don't look like nature. That's awful straight. But when you look at a mining operation where they mine for any kind of thing, when they put those columns up, it is to support the roof structure above them. Doesn't matter whether they're mining for coal or gold or copper or whatever. They have to have these columns for roof support structure. Well, if all of these things you're seeing out there are roof support structure, what happened to the roof? Where did these rocks go? See, this is my whole theory with the trees being cut down. Don't get me wrong. I believe in what the Father above gave the foresight to be written, explaining that the trees were cut and that our oxygen, everything changed. Where'd the trees go? I mean, we talking about trees 150 miles tall. Where?
Yep. And well, I was wondering if you could go back to that overview of the whole area, because I was trying to understand what that structure may have been originally before the floods, before the mining operation. Like, what is the full structure of this that would, and what exactly, aside from the quarrying the rock, I mean, there has to have been other elements that they were trying to get at.
All right. Well, I've looked at, and Daniel and I had this big conversation one day about. All right, we're gonna come back to that because I know where that's at. Oh, zoom back in there, little fake ball. When you're looking at continents, okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm talking out loud about this fake ball. You see right here where the Grand Canyon is. It looks like a burnt spot. It just looks like a burnt spot. All right, look right here, over here in Chile. The whole border looks burnt. Well, guess what Chile has? A Grand Canyon. Imagine that. Looks the exact same way. Looks like it's been, oh yeah, looks like it's been mined. We're going to go look at that in a second. Now, look at this one. Whole spot looks burnt. And you still got spots over here that look burnt. These spots in other countries that are desert or look like they've been burnt, they look like they've been mined. If you go look at a copper mine, or for that matter, a coquina mine, they mine coquina around here. We have a lot of coquina.
Hmm.
That's exactly what a coquina mine looks like. The Grand Canyon just looks like it was done on this humongous scale. It's crazy.
Well, it's interesting because,
Let's see if
like,
I can
in
find this thing on shield.
comparison, it's like that could be some kind of a remnant of a creature. And the other thing could totally also be like a remnant of a tree. I was thinking, a very large tree trunk, or even like its branch. I don't know. I was just thinking there's got to be something within it, because a lot of these specialty, minerals and metals and all of that kind of thing seems to come from old mud fossil biological things to me. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but that seems to be where my studies have gone into, that, trees and giants and giant monsters that were talked about in mythology and biblical things could possibly
Mm-hmm.
be that.
Well, and the crazy thing to me, when you're looking at all these different continents, where you find these areas that look like the Grand Canyon, you have been mined by some massive technology or machinery or people or whatever, because we ain't got the means to do that. And we go back to the original question: where's the rock? If you dig a hole, the dirt you take out the hole, you got to put the dirt somewhere. That dirt ain't nowhere. Ain't nobody found that dirt. It's
Well,
not washed down the Colorado River because it would be at the mouth, and it's not there.
this kind of takes me into the whole aspect of how many underground layers do we have? How many civilizations have we buried over and are still underground and preserved?
Mm. Well, and see, that's another curiosity with the Grand Canyon. Normally, when you're looking at layers, different layers of shell or sediment or sand or whatever, those layers fluctuate. You know what I mean? As you're digging, they ripple, they go up and down because everywhere has dents and holes and whatever. So, if you were to go and slice it like you were slicing a cake, you would see that a lot of times those layers of sediment have a little bit of a wave or a movement to them. Not in the Grand Canyon. They're bored straight horizontal at the same depth at every time. Like just the geology alone of the rocks doesn't line up with what they say it is, which 99% of what they've ever told us doesn't line up with what it really is. But I mean, it's just one of those things, like the math ain't mathing. And another math we ain't mathing. We gonna not beat that Grand Canyon to death. But something ain't math in there, guys. The stones don't match. The theory of water erosion doesn't match. They were mining. And in order for it to be a mining operation, there's an original story that we've heard about that talks about a mining operation to try to get enough gold to shield their planet from heat. Um, Essentially, from what I understand about how those green tablets supposedly told that story, is kind of like we're being done now, where they take, like shiny things, kind of like glitter, and they put it in these flying things, and then they leave these trails in the sky, and it alters things.
Just out of curiosity, do you think this has anything to do with the glitter conspiracy?
No, I don't think the Grand Canyon and glitter
No, no,
are.
I meant like you were talking about. Like, have you heard of that though?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's part of what they're spraying you with. Hey,
Right.
Miss K.
Just
Yeah, that's part
was
of what they're
curious.
spraying us with is glitter,
It's
folks.
glitter.
Microscopic glitter.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I just now put two and two together.
Okay,
That's
well,
cool.
all right.
Cool.
Now
It's all right.
let me give
A
you
little
another for
slow.
instance on glitter.
It's good.
Glitter doesn't have to be pink and blue and shiny. Glitter, as far as what glitter is, can be an almost transparent, translucent type of thing. Glitter can be small enough that you can barely see it with the human eye. Like it can almost be like a powder form. It's so tiny.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've seen any of these new 3D projection gizmos,
Mm.
and if you want to know what I'm talking about, folks, if you ain't seen one of them, go watch that Magic movie. Now, what is it? Now You See Me? And Now You See Me too at the very front scene. You watch this whole show play out in a theater with magicians, and all of a sudden the lights go off and nobody's there. Well, then you see a behind the scenes in the movie. There was nobody there. It was a translucent sheet that almost looked like saran wrap. So if they can take that and aerosolize it and put it in a device above your head up there, spray the whole sky with it and get it to spread out in clouds, then they've created their own invisibility cloak.
Yep, and also a screen.
Yeah. So that they can
Um,
broadcast from all of those satellites above you, which have absolutely nothing to do with your internet.
no, because what actually runs the internet and your phones and all of these things
Undersea cables,
called fiber optics,
which
which
is glass and water.
and actually runs from light frequency. That is what travels at is what how the information travels is through light frequency. Sorry, I got excited there. That's
Oh
it.
no, no, go right ahead. That's a good segue
like
because we
if
can we
like you
can then move from the data to the AI centers.
okay, so like think about it like this, right? Remember those things we've had since I mean, I don't know if they had these in the 70s because I was not around back then, but at least since the 80s with the
Easy now.
fiber optic, whatever, the little fiber optic strands in the toy, and you turn on the light and you could
Oh yeah.
see all the points of light coming from that is literally the basis of these cables, but just
Mm-hmm.
on a much grander scale. So imagine because light travels faster than sound, and everything runs off of frequency. Matter is held by sound frequency, but information travels in light speed.
Here we go. I just happen to have a visual representation. Here we go.
Hey,
Check this out, guys. Y'all getting multiple visuals tonight. I'm on it.
that's awesome.
Oh, my bad.
Like
My
chicken,
bad.
chicken.
Check, check. Come on. Detected unusual activity from my network. Y'all say that all the time. Whatever, dude.
Gatekeeper. It's being a
Mm,
gatekeeper.
ain't
We
it?
know.
Look, now it don't even want to let me close the tab.
Yeah. Mm, mm.
Anyway, let's see if this one will work. Can you guys see that? I know it's not very big when I click on it. It's not letting me do. It's not letting me do what I want to do here.
What?
Uh, well, here you go. All
Is
right,
that
each one of these is the continents. This is Africa. All of this highlighted stuff is sea cables, and this is how all of your information travels around the world. Now, these sea cables, we're not talking about the cable like comes into your house. I'm talking about a cable the size of a school bus, and it runs from continent to continent and continent to continent, and they go everywhere. They go
did,
all around the world.
did you notice that pattern though on that one? It looks like it's like it's got a 76 in there. I'm just throwing it
Uh,
out. I
yeah,
don't
it
know
does
if
look a
that
little weird.
would.
Well, see, and part of this war with Iran, like people never thought about the fact of underground sea cables. Okay, okay, here we go. Old Jeffy boy, he seems to come up in a lot of conversations anymore. Satan's spawn.
The
Um,
hemorrhoid guy.
he had sea cables ran from the mainland to his island to make sure he had private communications.
Of course he did.
He was not running off no satellites. Don't get me wrong, he had receivers and stuff, But oh boy, if you go back and look at the paperwork, he had lines put in. And these sea cables are like landlines, so to speak, to a telephone, but they're huge. And you're talking about a war going on with Iran over there. All you gotta do is take a submarine down there and a little snip snip, and you cut a whole country off. Most of them just happen to run through the Strait of Hormuz. Imagine that. The ones that fed Iran, they run right through there. I've also heard some rumors that there's some sunken ships of gold in that strait. One of the reasons we got it shut, but lots going on there. Lots of gas lines going in on the southern Gulf Coast down in there. Lots of jobs, but I don't know. We're gonna get off the oil and gas because I don't know where that's going. But last night, in my wondrous flurry of scrolling looking for things, I ran across somebody who appears, and like I said, this hasn't been authenticated. He appears to have a hidden camera on his body, and he is in one of those centers where the data for the AI stuff is going on in all these towns. And, we've had the water conversation, and Shannon and I have had it many times like, where is the water going? If you have a vehicle, you got a radiator, it's a thermal exchanger. You know what I mean? You got fans running, blowing through the radiator, cooling the water, recycle. Nah,
Mm-mm.
no. See, I was up under the assumption when you're talking about a water cooled computer. I've seen water cooled gaming rigs before. I'm not a big computer geek as far as putting them together. I could probably take one apart and put it back together. I've put my own memory and hard drive and stuff in, but I've seen many of them that were water cooled, but it still had a heat exchanger, some type of fan. That is not what these data centers are. That's what my brain was up under the interpretation of. And sometimes until you see it with your eyes, you don't reconceive what you're thinking. These are actual computers that are the size of a dining room table that are submerged in salty, ice cold water. Where else is there icy salt water at, Shannon?
Antarctica.
And we don't know what's in Antarctica, but we know everybody plays nice. And we got an idea that there's some kind of massive tech that the little man with the mustache was up there hunting, and he seems to have found because all of a sudden in the 30s, he's got flying saucers. So when you look environment for environment, we're looking at cold salt water. So is AI centers just some kind of replication of like outpost for Antarctica? Is it a sentient life form?
I would suggest fallen beings bound be in this type of environment.
Well, many people have said that Admiral Byrd did go somewhere that day and that he did have a journal and he did say things. And then, amazingly, he come up in a mental hospital and was crazy and jumped out of a window. Imagine that. Top rated pilot in the world on a groundbreaking tour to a land we never explored before. Had to be an extremely diligent, intelligent man to get in that position in the military. And then just all of a sudden, he lost his canoodle and jumped out of a window in a hospital where the windows didn't open. Shannon, did you know that? Did you know you could jump out of a window that doesn't open?
Oh, kind of like those in Vegas that
Yeah,
meshes that, of
yeah. And
course,
people go pow out
people
of.
can get gut. Yeah, I was totally gonna say, but you totally said the right word and cut me off in the right time. Good job.
Do you
Sound-
know that old boy that was doing that ka-chow, um, was his time of end did not even match the pow pows?
Ah,
He was dead
that.
long before anything went pow pow.
So it was a zombie killing. Is that what you're saying? Are we
Uh,
talking Walking Dead here? Or are we talking
oh no,
other things?
somebody had done helped
I know,
him
right?
to
Then,
exit the
yeah,
building long
one,
before the event took place.
100, 100. I mean, how many witnesses mentioned
Rapture ready.
multiple
The leader not worried about the
things?
climate, baby. That's just a a NGO scam to collect more money. Ain't nobody worried about no environment. They ain't worried about nothing but eating more babies and lining their pockets.
And poisoning us.
Okay, and I saw some ago, and I'm all for it, and I'm gonna bring it up. And I don't think this is where we was gonna go with this right a second. Anybody else seen the website that all the men signed up to be in the club to learn how to drug their wife?
Oh, I have heard about this.
Oh
I
yeah, I'm on it. I'm gonna bring it up. I weren't gonna bring it up. I said no, you shouldn't bring that up on there. It might get you taken down if you talk about this. You know what? We're gonna talk about it right now. There's a website out there. It is a membership site, kind of like OnlyFans or Feet Finders or wherever those other freak sites are to go out there and pay a monthly subscription fee to be buddies with the other weirdos online. We know there's enough of this the sites about children. This is an actual site where last month there were 62 million people signed up, the majority of them men, learning how to drug women, mainly men with spouses, to drug them so they would never know they had been drugged, to assault them in their sleep, and film it to share with their friends online.
the sad thing is, Roxy, this was a problem out in South Korea and also in the Philippines, even way before this came out to be like this huge public forum of everywhere. And several years ago, mass scandals happened in the public and they were outed. Police, reports made in the whole 9 yards.
Well, there
And
you go,
things were
Shannon.
shut
You
down.
bring me to my point.
Yeah.
I suggest, and I shared it the other day, and I may go share it on our YouTube group. Okay, folks, if you live in a house, I'm fixing to teach you something if you don't know this. If you live in a house with a Wi Fi router, it collects and stores every website you've ever been to. Your internet history is there for every user in the house. So you can go back. Oh, yes, everybody. You can go back and see where your spouse or your children have been at on the internet just by knowing how to get into the back door of your Wi Fi router. You don't have to have any special spy site. You just got to know where to go to get to the settings. I'll be sure to post those for everybody just in case you're curious, whether you're curious about your spouse or your children. But anyway, just for fun and giggles, I'm going to post the information of how you get into that router. And I, along with some other people on the internet, suggest since there is a website with 62 million members, I suggest we put up a board somewhere. And if you find out that your person is in that club, I think we should out them. Some women are saying that if you've ever been assaulted by a man, put him on there. I don't know about y'all ladies, but I'm about ready to figure out where you rent the wood chippers at.
Man, I'm so glad I'm married to a frugal man. Because that would require, getting purchasing things that cost money. So,
Like these
yeah.
dudes on there are talking about like, well, what medications? Now these are samples that I've seen. Like asking, well, what medications does your wife take? Oh, she takes Ambien. Well, when she takes her one Ambien, just sprinkle another one on her food or whatever. She'll be out for hours. You'll be able to do A, B, and C, and she'll never even know it. Then they film it
Yeah,
and share it online.
and they're the ones who invite said others to come over and do said things to said wives and swap. Just so you know, that's on there too.
Well, and I am by no means saying that all men are bad. There are good men out there
No,
that don't do this.
there are good men out there.
Hello, Daniel. Hello, my brother. My uncle brother. He's my uncle brother, you know that?
Mm.
But my uncle brother. I'm gonna start calling you Uncle Brother, Daniel. Uncle
Uncle
Brother.
Bro. Uncle
Uh,
Bro.
Unc Bro. Unc Bro. There's your new name, Unc Bro. Unc Bro. But anyway,
Bronco.
there I'm not saying that
Uncle.
Crunkle,
Sorry, squirrel.
squirrel. Shut up, Shannon. I'm
Okay.
not saying that all men are out there are bad, but I'm going to put it to you like this. For women, if somebody comes to you with a dozen homemade chocolate chip cookies and they tell you that in one of these cookies, a couple of the chocolate chips are turds, poop, feces, okay? In case anybody didn't understand my southern accent, turds. Are you going to eat one of the 12 cookies or are you not going to take your chance? Because, see, this is where you come down to the fact that all men ain't bad. How do you know which cookie has the turd in it? The odds are not forever in your favor.
I'm trying to understand exactly where you're going with this.
I made 12 homemade cookies, chocolate chip
Right,
cookies. One of those cookies, the chocolate chips, is actually poop. It's not chocolate chips.
right.
One
I
cookie
got,
alone, the
I got,
chocolate chips are poop.
right.
But when the cookies get put in the bag, they're all mixed together again, and you can't look at them and tell which cookie has the turd in it. Are you of the cookies, or are you just going to refrain from all of the cookies?
I mean, obviously, refrain from all of the cookies, but is the
Okay. Well,
12
this comes
cookies
down
like,
to the same theory of
eh,
not all men are bad. Are you really going to bite into a chocolate chip cookie not knowing whether it's chocolate or poop?
but what are, okay, no, but so just never again? Are you just
Well,
saying don't
no, I'm just
do it?
saying this. Well, like, this is the theory that, people say, well, oh, all men aren't bad. Okay. All women aren't bad. I get that. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. All dogs aren't bad. All trucks aren't bad. Whatever. But when your danger is that the danger of if that one cookie with the poop in it would poison you and kill you, you're not gonna partake of the cookies. People aren't under This is the thing. People aren't understanding why relationships between men and women aren't working, and especially why women who are mm, 40 and up are becoming less and less interested in a relationship with the other party. I'm sorry, Wayne. The pain. I
This
didn't
is,
mean to mess up your chocolate chip cookies.
so wait,
Nobody put poop in your cookies.
this is like a PSA for for all for all of you not to
Be
ever go
careful. You don't know
online
when you're going to
dating.
get a poop cookie. I mean,
Don't
that's just
do-
life and dating. And
we'll just yeah, like let's just I'm just gonna roll it with don't ever online date. There you go.
well, I mean, you have to know your person. I hear that joke all the time. I've heard it multiple times talking about Boaz, and it's the preacher. He says, "You got to be careful, ladies. It took Ruth a minute to find her Boaz." Says because Boaz has got lots of family members. Broke ass, lazy ass, no good for nothing ass, drunk ass, felony ass, won't work ass. You don't want them. You want Boaz. You don't want broke ass. You got to know who your person is. Puff, puff, pass, everybody.
Some dating advice for all of you. There you go.
Dating advice from Roxy. Make sure you get your Boaz, not broke ass, felony ass, drunk ass, lazy ass, none of them. You got to be careful. You don't know which cookie's got the turd in it. I'm just saying.
This
But
is
we
what
got
I'm glad
62
to be the
million
whole
turds
married
on
lady.
websites talking about
Uh,
raping women.
that are yep. See, no, there's no way. No way.
And I mean, maybe I'm not a man. I'm not a man. I have an extremely high testosterone level. I'm a very aggressive woman. But I can't fathom to myself in my mind 62 million people even being curious about that subject, whether you're going to partake in it. Why would you even sign up for that? That's just absolutely evil.
The
I got daughters and granddaughters.
the
Like,
amount of people interested in children or underage just is so much even more beyond that. But there's a whole section of, people always think it's always the youth, but you don't realize how many stories of older women, 40s and on up, who get assaulted and things along those lines. It's like you're never safe, even if you think so. I've heard of some poor elderly people in that situation. So,
And I mean, we
it's a
know
power
about
and control demonic
absolutely
issue.
right. It is absolute demonics for any person to think it's a control issue. It's a I don't know.
Well,
It's a
this is
character
like
flaw, but
a testing of the spirits with the people that you love, not to discourage anybody from finding a godly partner in their life and finding peace in one another in some way, fashion, and, with the true good people. But, it's testing the spirits because not everybody is who they say they are.
no.
And not everybody has a real, genuine God given soul like we do. It's the NPC thing I'm going at here.
Mhm. The
And there's
zombies.
also those who are very much so upside down and taken over by, you know, many different evil beings as well. Like there are people who don't realize what inhabits them. So testing the spirits is really the best way to go on that one. Just throwing that out there because
I'm
I
saying we
know there's
get
a
back to
lot
wood
of good
chippers.
dudes.
Wood chippers and billboards. I promise you, if you start putting these sick, no good sons of biscuit eaters on billboards and calling them out for what they are, so everybody in the neighborhood knows that Joe down the street is a pedophile or he likes to drug his spouse at night and film it for his buddies, you start putting that on a billboard, I guarantee you we have a lot more results.
I have a feeling if we just found the source of the insane frequency that is, escalating this particular problem in the world, we'd probably see a huge reduction in all of this. Just
Oh, I got one of the frequencies. Viagra needs to be outlawed.
100%.
If it ain't working, talk with God, not with Viagra. But anyway, I'm gonna leave that right there before I get in trouble.
Girl, you on one.
I'm on one today.
So
I don't know. Just the more I hear about this website, it was bad enough. Some of the stuff I've dug down in these Epstein files and some of the things I learned, and it will turn your stomach. It will give you nightmares, folks. Like there's a lot of things I've seen and learned on there that I have never discussed on the air because I prefer not for them helicopters to be whooping around my house all day.
mhm.
Like I got enough problems.
Uh,
When you start thinking about grown men who you sit next to in church as a child, his online violate his wife or his spouse, his partner when they're asleep.
yep.
You can't even sleep in safety in your own home anymore.
Well, here's see, this is something that in my journey of research and understanding, demonic oppression and possession and like the different various tiers of the way demons like to mess with us. I did a lot of deep diving on, true crime kind of stuff. Not for the same purpose that a lot of people go into it for, but really to try and find the patterns of, the demonic behavior. Like what is really truly some kind of a mental illness and what is demonic, because so many of these things seem to have the same MO. And then you kind of realize that that isn't necessarily that human being and that soul projecting those things. It's more like the Nefarious movie where they really are inhabited by a very dark entity or entities that is a driving force. And so I've gone down a lot of these things where that one particular subject has come up many times. It seems to be a very big problem, like I said, out in like Korea and the Philippines and things along those lines. But now that it's really reached out here in America and on a more mainstream level, like not just the elites, the ones that we're used to talking about and outing, like this is your everyday person
Yeah,
coming out.
this is your
And
banker, your gym
yeah,
teacher, your yeah.
and
62 million folks.
right. I mean, you just see this escalation of, this behavior. It is 100% demonic. And when you get onto these sites, even out of curiosity, it ends up that there's already such demonic presence within that it just escalates and gets worse, and it's like they groom each other and encourage each other. I mean, this is how it is on many forums. There are so many weird and terrible dark forums. And
Okay.
used to be it used to be where these things were on the dark web. Now it is out there everywhere in the regular web like nothing.
All right. 62 million people. That would be 18% of the total US population. But that's comparing men and women. You got to split that about in half. So what would that be? 30 plus percent of the men?
Well, what is the actual ratio of men to women in that population of the US?
Almost half and half. 62 million men make up 18% of the U.S. population. Based on current 2026 demographic estimates, the U.S. population is roughly 349 million people, a total of them being 175 million men and 174 million women. So they outnumber men to women by a million. But 62 million, if you took every Hispanic person in this country, that would equal about 60 million. So just imagine when you're trying to think of like male, female, man, woman, whatever, if every Hispanic in this country was on a site, that's the power that that Academy website has, the group of people. That's insane. That is absolutely insane to me.
And that is the one you get to hear about. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's the one we know about now.
That's
It's
the one
been discovered.
I hear about.
Hmm.
And like I said, I mean, this is
I'm
no.
thinking Alien versus Predator or Redneck Mama with a switchblade and a wood chipper. I mean, it is what it is. Somebody got to do something. I volunteers tribute. Just
Look,
saying. I got some aggression to work out.
this is where this is where God's judgment comes into play, and he is definitely
I'm
co-
trying to let him handle it, Shannon.
this
I'm
is
trying to
this
be patient.
this is where we all need repentance. Every one of us, in whatever it is, none of us are perfect. And my God, I'm not comparing in any way, shape, or form to that subject matter.
Listen,
But I'm just saying, repentance, people.
it is up to Jesus to do the judging, but I would not mind arranging some meetings, baby. Just saying. Let me hook you up with an appointment. Last time I checked, I got a pretty good in on that appointment calendar. I'd like to set up some appointments for some meetings,
Well,
sir.
see, this is where I do have this need to call out for the strong men of God. There's so many that have gone out to volunteer their lives for a political side or a political conflict. But Where are you guys for the children? Where are you guys for the vulnerable and weak? And that's where we should prioritize our our strength and warriorness, you know? And so I'm just calling, and I'm not saying on a physical level necessarily here, but I'm saying, hey, you strong men of God out there, it's time to really be the true warriors of God you are, and to stand up for the vulnerable, the children,
We
the
need to
and
start
the
getting we need to start getting real specific with some of these prayers we're praying, because I know we're
yeah.
all praying. I pray multiple times a day. I try to pray when I wake up, before I go to sleep, and when I have a spare moment throughout the day. If nothing else, it's a thank you for all the blessings that I have. But we need to start getting real specific with these prayers, because I'm telling you, I'm trying to wood chipper this on a spiritual level, but I'm telling you, I'm running out of patience. I'm ready to start. I want to be Jesus's receptionist. Let me fix your calendar, sir. Let me get your calendar all straightened out on some meetings I need you to have. I'm real good at a lifetime. I am the chaos manager. What else
Chaos
was it?
Manger.
The chaos manager. My actual plaque that used to be on my desk at the dealership, instead of general manager, it said fire extinguisher. Like, they had a whole plaque made up that went on my desk. It said fire extinguisher. I'm not one, when I have a problem, I'm not going to run to somebody and go, oh, we got a problem. Nah. I'm going to give it a minute, figure out how to fix it. And I'm going to say, hey, we had a problem, but here's how we fix it. That's why you get called a fire extinguisher instead of the one that runs around with her hair on fire.
So now I have a visual of you literally managing the character chaos from those terrible insurance company
Girl,
commercials.
girl, let me tell you. I'm going to tell you about a dealership I worked at. And this
I
is a very unique story. At the height of my career, I had finally made it to the top. I started at a buy here, pay here car lot back in my early 20s, where we kept up with accounts on it was one of them little plastic boxes in the kitchen, like recipe card boxes. That was how technologically savvy she was. Now keep in mind, I've been around cars my whole life doing title work and stuff. I worked my way to a franchise dealership as the head honcho, wearing $400 shoes and driving a Lexus to lunch because I wanted to. Um, but we have some of the most car salesmen are some of the most unique individuals you will ever run across in your life. 85% of them all have some type of substance problem, whether it be drugs, alcohol, hookers, you name it. They all got a problem. So you normally have 6 to 8 salesmen. I'd say 5 out of 8 got a substance abuse problem. I have actually had to go retrieve a BMW from the trap house where the general sales manager traded the use of the company BMW for the weekend to his drug dealer. Now, do you understand why I was called a fire extinguisher, Shannon?
just can't. I keep thinking Jerry Springer runs your town, dude. I can't.
Things work different in South, baby. Things work different in South. Like, I'm on the phone with Shannon today, and the grandbaby comes in from a field trip. She's like, Nanny, I didn't get to go swim with the alligators. I'm sure Shannon's going like, y'all let your children swim with alligators?
My thought was actually like, wow, you guys swim with alligators. Wow. But that was close.
Honey, at least you can see them alligators coming. You can't see them 62 million on that Academy website.
Yeah.
Give me an alligator I can see coming any day versus one of them.
It's like that. Would you rather be alone with a bear or a man in the
Give me the
woods?
bear.
I see
Give me
what.
the bear.
Wow.
I bet you in 2 hours I'm riding that bear like a bucking bronc. The man is dead. See? Give me the bear. Me and the bear gonna have a good time. Like, we're gonna go running through the woods, singing songs. I'm gonna be riding him, holding on to his fur, like making my animal scream. You put me in the woods with a strange man, and that man is gonna be the good night, baby doll. Um, that'll be the end of that man if he comes at me, because I got a switchblade. I ain't even playing.
Well,
I,
both pose potential danger, but the
no, no, no. See
the
that? I think
thought,
that bear. I
just the
think me and the
thought
bear
that
could
we
vibe.
are at the point in society and lives, it seems like a good portion of women would rather take their chances with a bear. And that's sad to me. Like, this is really sad. Like, I realize there's a lot of darkness out there, but I know there's got to be much more out there than are visually very apparent because geez man, holy
Yup.
cannoli.
Like I don't even. I feel so. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm 50. I'm divorced. I'm out here in it. Um, it been 30 years since I had dated before. Dating changed. Imagine that. The internet wasn't invented. Like there was no internet the last time I dated before my divorce. There was no internet. It was like that dial-up MS DOS stuff because we're talking about the last time I dated. I was in high school, 92, 93, when I met my ex-husband, and like there weren't no internet. We didn't even own a home computer at that time. You had no use for one. Floppy disk, folks. That's how old my dating was. So you go from floppy disk, pre Google, pre internet, to being divorced into a world where there's Tinder and Grinder and Bumble and Facebook dating and
Mm-mm.
no thank you.
Mm-mm. See, you remember how I mentioned I, really have studied a lot of true crime things? I am considering the last 10 years of online dating shenanigans. I mean, it's been around for a lot longer, but I mean, the amount of it, the true crime rate is just filled with lots of stories from online dating. And that's just where I'm like, dude, I've always thought of this. It's going to be some big, giant, old, bald dude in a tutu. And he's saying he's some beautiful girl named Lily or something, or some handsome dude. I'm just, don't do it, okay? It's not who you think it is most of the time.
Most of the time.
I mean, there's always the exception. There's always an exception. But, if people aren't willing to go outside and meet people in real life anymore, maybe dating is not for you.
Yeah, I don't think the outside is ready for me. Like, I just don't. I mean, you've met me in person, Shannon. I'm different.
I like different. Different is fantastic. We are a little different.
But, and see,
There's
I get,
somebody for everybody.
oh, I'm sure there is. I mean, my Boaz is there. I just I gotta find Boaz. But I'm, men complain all the time. I don't know how we got into relationship 101 on here tonight.
I don't either, but
But like men complain that women are so independent, like they want to be independent woman. Yeah, I got my own house. I pay my own bills. I drive my own pickup truck. I take off my own trash. However, I do not rotate my tires. Thanks, Willie. He come by this morning. Look that up. But people get upset about women being independent. Women of my generation and my daughter's generation, a good portion of these women have had to figure out how to be independent because the Boaz they put their dependence in turned out to be deadbeat baby ass. And you know what I mean? Like just deadbeat baby daddies and ain't no good and run off with the other one. Yes, I know there's good and bad in every population. But the quality, and this is not just men, this is men and women. The quality.
women definitely need to be added into this
Oh,
conversation, okay?
absolutely, because they out there shaking their booty all over the internet for likes
Being
and
psycho and going with 58 dudes. Yeah. Yeah.
ladies, if you don't know, all them babies leave some DNA in your brain. So when you got 4 baby daddies and you acting a little irrational, it's because you got too much DNA in your brain. You need to take a break.
But yep,
Just saying. I
But
mean, I ain't lying. Look at the science.
here's the thing, Roxy. This is what makes me think back to the MKs, the gateways, the all of that kind of stuff. Because when did you see a big push in society on a grand scale of that? 57, right?
Yep.
When did divorce really start becoming more and more acceptable? In the late 60s, early 70s.
Mhm. Well,
Their
see, and
generation that
now,
went through some stuff in
hang on.
programming. I'm just
I
saying.
I know, and I agree with you, but I have a little bit of a different perception on some of that, and maybe it's the same, but how I come to my theory, like we come to a theory that my grandmother and great grandmother, they stayed married to the same man their whole life. Well, I reckon so. They got married in the late 40s or the 50s. My grandparents did. Stayed married their whole life. I don't think they would have stayed that way in today's world because you got to understand up until the 70s or 80s, a lot of people don't even realize that a woman wasn't allowed to get a mortgage, to have a checking account, to own a car, to get a credit card, or to make any true life decisions without the consent of her husband. I can take this all the way back to the Salem witch trials.
Oh, well, yeah. And also, how many women were put into, wives
Insane
were put
asylums.
in asylums because,
He
you know,
wanted a new model.
new model, or my God, heaven forbid you go through and that change of life that we all
She's
have to go.
hormonal.
You
Listen,
know, it's yeah. We have been considered property instead of a human being for a very long time, and I can't say that necessarily my grandparents wouldn't have necessarily stayed together, but I know like the acceptance rate became more of a thing. And it seems to me, though, as these programs had progressed and become much more integrated in mass in society, you start to see a downfall on so many levels. I mean, instead of the women's movement, right, um, being something that was actually genuine, it was then again promoted and funded by gay men in power. So it has nothing to do with women or liberation or
mm-mm.
equality or anything to do with us. And there's been such a misconstrued conception on what men and women really are. And instead of, getting to the root of the problem by allowing divorce into the mix to be acceptable, it seemed to be like just like getting a ritual sacrifice done in your womb. It's become more and more like, well, I could just have as many wives or husbands or whatever I can have, and they're the smallest thing can destroy a marriage now, when before it's like it was supposed to be through richer or poorer, through sicker, through health, all of that. We're supposed to stick together and try. And it seems, and it's not that it's one or the other, it seems to be just this conglomeration of the fact that the darkness keeps seeping in and we're never getting to the root of the problem, and we're never speaking the truth and asking God to actually fix that, asking Jesus into our heart to mend our marriages and things, because that takes both ends. That's not just one. And I'm not saying this is for everyone. There's always exceptions to every rule, but I just feel like no one tries anymore. And there's just that perspective too. I feel like,
Transparency.
yeah,
That's the word I'm looking for.
but
Transparency.
more and more men leave their families, and then more and more children, especially young boys, grow up without the father in the home. And it
Absolutely.
just ends up going into this downward spiral where it may not have been that great to begin with because there was a lot of hidden darkness. It just never addressed it. It just said, okay, fine, then abandon what you have done. Like your choice now is just to completely abandon it and not
Well,
for
and
your
the part of this broken home syndrome and the internet raising our kids is why we have whole generations of kids that have absolutely zero manners.
oh my
I
god.
I don't know how y'all was raised. I'm Gen X. If I mouthed off to my grandma or my mama, there's this thing called a factory reset button on a child. I don't know if you've ever experienced it or ever engaged with said reset button, but I can promise you, if your mama ever told you she was gonna slap you and you was gonna wake up next week, she was discussing your reset button.
Yeah.
She was gonna fry your jaw so hard that you question the time, like time frame, the fabric of time. It's kind of like when I was over in Indiana and I felt like I was stuck for a couple hours. That's what it's gonna feel like when she resets you. And there are not enough children getting their butt whooped
No.
because they out here acting like menaces in society. They don't open doors. They don't say ma'am or sir or thank you or you're welcome.
See, that's just the thing. And like I have mentioned, there are exceptions to every rule. There are exceptions to things. There's a lot of situations that are dangerous and scary, and you need to get out of them. But when you do those things and you raise your children, not even on the internet, but even if you're doing it to where you are in their lives every day, you got to remember that, you know, we have to try. We have to give a chance for family to work, for them to understand and learn that, and not to hide those problems sometimes from your kids. Because if they don't see it, I'm not just saying like go wiling out in some kind of argument, but being open and honest with your children that, hey, you're working through things and this is why this is, and it's not because of you or any of those things, but this is how adults work through things. If this whole construct of let's just give up and abandon over every little thing, I'm not talking about big things, I'm talking about little things, that it just seems so easy for someone to go run off to someone else. If you really don't want to be with that person, then be by yourself. Like, Roxy can tell you, like, you don't need to constantly go to other places. These are just things that seem to be such big problems, and so much of the entertainment propagates that. And broken homes cause
Oh yeah.
more and more broken children. And again, trust me,
I
there are
got
homes that don't need to be together because it can be worse. There are always those homes, but like on a whole, I've just seen on such this grand scale, like the damage it's done.
there's a lot of hard situations out there. I think a
Right.
lot of things people have got to learn to have conversations, but you got to be real careful about who you pick to be your Boaz.
That's right.
Is all I'm
That's
saying.
the number one. Don't rush.
Don't
Don't
rush, cause you
rush.
won't get Boaz, you get broke ass. I'm just saying,
Any of you youngins out there, it
you
probably,
youngins.
if you're listening, take your time. Just remember,
Lord
no,
have
we're not
mercy, it takes
going
time.
anywhere. Take your time.
Make sure you fall for a communicator, somebody who can have a conversation. And there's a difference between honesty and transparency. And I had never heard this until the other day, and it makes complete sense. If you, whether this be a friendship or a relationship, family, whatever, honesty is when you tell someone the truth.
Yeah.
Transparency is when you have already discussed it, informed about it. So you don't need to be truthful because the other person already knows. Like your schedule or what you did or who you coming and going with or who was okay. I'm going to a work dinner tomorrow with my coworkers. That's honest. I'm telling my spouse I have a lunch date tomorrow, for work. It's a work thing, and I'm going with coworkers. That's honesty. But the transparency of it was when if I would go ahead and explain the people that are going to be there, if they're going to be people out of the normal or that would have made my person uncomfortable, that's transparency.
Hmm.
And
And that's something I've learned over my marriage. Neither of us were very good about that. And I have gotten really good about that now. So glad.
well, and like, okay, let's say you're going to town. It's like, hey, honey, I'm going to town. I'm gonna get the groceries. I'm gonna run by and pay the electric bill. I got to stop and get gas, and then I'm gonna stop by Kim's house and pick up a gift or whatever. Well, your partner knows where you're going.
Oh my God. See, I
If you
up all day long.
if you just said I'm going to Walmart's and I'm gonna get gas and I'm coming back home, well then your partner here's 3 days later that you went by Kim's house and Kim's brother was there who you used to date. You've not been transparent. You were honest after the fact after you got asked the question.
Yep.
But there's a difference in being sorry that you done something and being sorry that you got caught. There's a difference. I don't know how we got on this relationship train today, Shannon. We weren't even going there, but we
Uh,
get squirrel,
mhm,
squirrel.
You started talking about chocolate chip cookies.
Ain't it?
All
They's
right.
a turd in the cookie. They's a turd in the cookies. Don't eat the cookies.
So it's because you were mad about all these horrible husbands
On
that
the
are,
academy. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But you know what? Before we go, because I know we've been on here for a minute, I know we wanted to touch in on that Ingersoll Lockwood thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My bad. See, Shannon got me back on track. I was all squirreling.
Oh gosh.
There's a let me change our window. Look, guys, another informational display. Check this out.
You are
I
on
haven't even, girl, I didn't even get to puff puff pass before we got on air. I was too busy cooking this big old dinner. Cooked a fantastic dinner, by the way. You
it.
know, roast potatoes, rice, macaroni and cheese, delectable. Anyway, and no, Daniel, you did not get a plate. Nanny, nanny, boo boo. Anyway, Ingersoll, I love giving him a fit. Ingersoll Lockwood. Nothing on it has changed much lately, except for this little gizmo you see right here. That's a UFO. Um, that takes you to aliens.gov, which has nothing on it. It's a 404 page error, I think, but the government has registered aliens.gov. This is the new one. See the little zombie monster looking thing? He looks like that to me. Looks very much like oh, where did he go? I can't zoom up that much. It went haywire. That looks like the people off Game of Thrones, the White Walkers. But when you click on said White Walker, it takes you to this, the Book of Atlas, a groundbreaking cinematic journey inspired by CryptPro and created entirely with artificial intelligence. Own your ticket as an NFT, watch the premiere, become part of the legend. Takes you through the whole process of how you get this internet thing to watch this movie. Here's a preview of it. Down here, it gives you your main characters. These are the heroes. And then it gives you who the villains are: the Demerge, Exquisite Android, the Four Servants, Creature from Jekyll Island, Knight of the Red Shield, and Typhoon. And it says it is more than a film, birthed from a series of animated short films between 2 and 10 minutes long. The Book of Atlas is a celebration of crypto culture full of Easter eggs for the crypto enthusiasts, libertarians, and historians to discover. It's a hero's quest through time and space, a sci fi fantasy epic. The thing that got me, I don't know why, but see right there, the consensus, the mythical guardian, that
Mhm.
lion with those wings. I've seen that symbology somewhere before and I can't remember where it was, but I'm going to have to go find it now. But this was just unusual for something that popped up on Ingersoll Lockwood to tell us to go watch a movie. Um, I don't know. It was just weird to me. As usual, all the other hidden stuff is there that we've seen before. I don't know if you guys have seen this part. I think we've been over it. Dang it. The hidden
So
part. All these Bible verses are about protecting the children.
it's interesting because it was called the Book of Atlas, and in Greek mythology, this is the Google, uh, depiction. In Greek mythology, Atlas was a titan condemned by Zeus to bear the weight of the heavens slash sky on his shoulders for eternity. And so he is usually located at the edge of the world near Hesperides, or however you pronounce that. He is the son of Lapidus and Clymen, Clymene, whatever, brother to Prometheus, and was punished for leading the Titans against the Olympians. So he has to bear the weight of the world, the sky, whatever. That's his role.
Oh, here's the trailer synopsis. Get a glimpse into the Firefly universe, a cinematic experience where blockchain artifacts imbue humans with great power to fight against an ancient evil in this battle to save the fate of the universe from a rogue sentient alien intelligence. Imagine that.
See, this is why it's like, why are you promoting blockchain as the way to battle against this ancient evil, considering it's still a part of the system? I don't care what people say about blockchain. It is a digital crypto type of currency. It is of the beast system. Why would it make a difference? I'm just throwing that out there. I know you say it's saying to fight evil with evil, but you see how that may not work.
We shall not
Fight
know
darkness
until
with
we watch this movie, Shannon.
fight darkness with darkness. I mean, I'm just saying, if Jesus is light, I say we shed it onto the darkness. But all right,
And
see, we should. It's interesting. Maybe you know, cover yourselves with the blood of Jesus while watching this. If any of you check it out, if we show anything on here, but it's interesting to look into.
it's it's the newest thing that's popped up on Ingersoll in a while. I hadn't really seen a whole lot pop up on there. Oh, sorry guys, I'm yawning. It's 8:48 my time. Like I'm usually into bed in 12 minutes. I ain't playing. I'm a early to bedder. I'm up with the sunshine in the morning. Now I say that I'll go in there and climb in the bed and lay there for 2 hours staring at the ceiling, going, "Why can't I go to sleep?"
Because your brain keeps going, and then you find yourself scrolling at stuff, looking up more information.
Well, see, that's how I ended up down this whole rabbit hole about ancient cemeteries and how the big cemeteries, like in Washington, D.C., and Pennsylvania, and these big cities where they have like acres and acres and acres, all these cemeteries are set up on a bluff which overlooks the city. But if you go up under these cemeteries, what they don't want you to see is that they're what they claim are catacombs, which is BS. Who arranges bare bones in the anyway? There's aqueducts, there's tunnels, there's that's this is part of why you can go anywhere you want to in Washington D.C. up under them fancy buildings that they claim they built and they found. I mean, come on. Go watch that dude's channel. He's got some information on there that'll put some puzzle pieces together and you go, "You know what? That makes sense." I
I
see you with
like
your big wave there, Big E. He's
Hello.
been running errands, so he has not been a part of the chat tonight.
That's
I,
okay.
and Clayton has texted me. I'm not sure if he's in the room or if he's just listening at a distance, but I did get a text from him a while ago. Yeah, if anybody can find anything on the AI data centers as to what the actual inside of these buildings, how they look or operate, we're interested in that. We're curious about this water. Was that real? Are these computers submerged in cold salt water? Because if so, then we're replicating an environment much like Antarctica. Like the salt content in Antarctica is way, way higher than anywhere else on Earth. Like all of the salt. Okay, when the water comes from the top of the mountain where the snow melts, comes down the river and the streams, it when it gets to the ocean, it's salty. You have brackish water where the fresh water and the salt water meets. But that fresh water goes into the ocean where the salt water is. The closer you get to Antarctica, the higher that salt content picks up. And to my understanding, I think it was like we're at 18-20% when you're, in the ocean. And the closer you get to Antarctica, the closer we travel up to like 37 and 40% of salination in the water. That's a big change. And that's why when you see these glaciers in Antarctica and places like that flip upside down with that blue, a lot of that's got to do with the salt content in the water. And remember, salt water conducts electricity better too.
Again, does this have anything to do with Gerald?
You and Gerald and that dolphin. Listen, Shannon wants to meet Gerald the dolphin. If you're listening, my bestie wants you to come over to Laguna Beach on the other coast because she needs to have a talk with you because she's very, very curious about what y'all building down there.
I
And
need
she's
to
got
know.
some decorating ideas that she
I
can help
do.
you out with.
That's right. I need confirmation, or at least
She
Yeah.
just wants to be your interior designer, Gerald.
I just
Like,
need to know. I just had questions. I don't want to be a part of any of it. I just have questions. I need clarification.
I think we all need clarification on Gerald. Because if we don't think that they ain't cities down there at the bottom of that ocean, just like they got cities up under mountains and caves, somebody missed a bus somewhere when we was reading. Because you're not going to tell me they ain't got under ocean cities. These people have been preparing for disaster. I mean, go back and look at Gobekli Tepe and other places like that. This is not the first time that people thought something was coming and they took the underground to get away from it. What if you took the underground because you thought the world was in a nuclear war and you stayed there for 50 years? What is that stupid TV show that comes on that's about that? And when they finally come out, like you're 2 generations later and history's been lost because there was something, but they could have come out of there 30 years ago and the world's changed or 100 or whatever.
I just have this feeling that the abyss lies within the abyss of the ocean.
Well, all
I
of the
mean, the
oceans come
swine
together at a particular point.
where
And a
did the swine go when Jesus put the legion within them? They went back home. Just throwing that out there.
Mm, well, and the Mariana Trench is one of them areas that's so deep and so vast that we really haven't had the opportunity to explore it or at least be explained that it
Well,
had been explored.
right, no, the one guy who did actually get down there and do some exploration and filmed it just happened to have died.
Really? Died?
Really, he is no longer with
What a
us.
coincidence,
What
Shannon.
a coincidence.
You know what I've also heard? That
What's that?
there's like 10 of these scientists that were connected to that last time here a week or two ago where we went to the moon on
Hmm.
Artemis. Like
Yeah.
10 of the scientists have disappeared or died. What a coincidence. Amazing.
Interesting.
Interesting. It's amazing.
Interesting. And what's weird too is what happened before all of that when they had those scientists up in, orbit just in the space station and they were testing out some kind of
Green screen?
virus or
Oh, my bad.
something. And they just had to have an emergency of, landing and evacuation to bring back said person and a few others.
And the pod just happened to fall out of the back of a big Air Force plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, right into the ocean. No steam, no boiling, just splashed down, all good. Pretty pictures too. Pretty
So,
pictures.
so
You know what, Wayne? All of those scientists may have jumped out of the window at that same VA hospital
oh,
where
right.
Admiral Byrd was. Look at there.
Mm,
See, Wayne the Pain has figured out what we missed in that equation.
there
Thank you for
you
that, sir.
go.
They all jumped out the window.
See, I love all of you puzzle nerds. We thank you
Yeah,
all.
we do. We love all
Yeah.
you puzzle nerds coming and hanging out with us for puzzle night.
Yeah. Oh, that's what we
We
should.
should have trivia night, like to have it at the bar,
I,
because like we don't go to the bar, guys. We all hang out here together, and so we should just have trivia night, like to have at the bar. We
I
should
love
have
it.
conspiracy theory trivia.
Let's go. I love it.
Don't you? You have a conspiracy theory game.
I
As a matter of
actually
fact,
do, but it is not that cool. I mean, there's some stuff in there that's fun, but it's kind of old and very much so based around a lot of alien stuff.
yeah, and that's one of those etymology words where we gotta rethink what we think of an alien as. We've been so programmed to believe, and this is no joke, y'all. As I say this, I have a green one of those little stretchy, sling it at the wall, and it sticks aliens in my hand. Yes, I am here. I'm alive. The whole thing runs smoother if we keep the cameras off, guys. We're not doing that just to hide.
Yeah,
The
well,
We have a lot less technical gremlins when we leave the cameras off. I don't know why. Might be bandwidth. I don't know, but yeah, we have been programmed to believe that the word alien can mean a little green man. Well, last time I checked, if you come here from another country and you don't have the paperwork, you're an illegal alien. If you come from another country and you do have paperwork, you're a legal alien. So that just means foreign. It doesn't mean little green man, little gray man. It just means foreigner. Whether you're a foreigner from another land or a foreigner from the sky, an alien is an alien. So be careful with your etymology and don't think about what they programmed you that it was in a movie. Let's see. Any more comments? Hello, Bible Chick. I don't remember seeing you in here before. Bible Chick has heard testimony of people going to underground cities in the sea. Shannon wants to know all about it because she wants to talk to Gerald and his construction crew.
I
She's
do.
got questions.
I have a lot of questions.
Shannon's always got questions.
I do.
Shannon's always got questions.
I have a
Okay,
lot.
everybody, it's about time to get out of here. So before we leave, go ahead and puff, puff, pass, finish it on out. Don't put it down. Don't waste it. Make sure you get it all so you can sleep good tonight. Oh, and Shannon, I got to tell you something, and I can't say it on air, so I'm gonna have to write it down,
Oh.
and I will text it to you because I just found out something about a particular body part that has like an extremely high amount of cannabinoid receptors in it.
What? Okay.
It's a whole
We'll
new
talk.
thing.
We'll talk.
It bypasses your liver.
Interesting.
Mhm. Doing it this way bypasses your liver, which cannabis is probably not bad for your liver at all. It's really good for me. People tend to like me better when I'm speaking with the canna. Like I was on the phone with somebody the other day and they were like, "You just smoked, didn't you?" I said, "Why?" They said, "You're nice."
Oh.
You're nice. You're
Oh.
nice. Maybe I'm I don't know that it was nice, but I'm very gruff, very to the point and blunt. Shannon knows. Shannon spent
Mhm.
some time with me now. I'm like, mm-mm. See, I'm that girl when we're all going out to the bar on a girls' night or going out to the movies or wherever. It would be like, girl, this look good on me. Like, no, girl, that makes your butt look bad. Go take them pants off. We not
See, we
going out in public
appreciate.
and you looking like you got pancake butt. I mean, come on, we got to go. Get
See,
some more drawers on.
I appreciate that. I tend to be the same way. I'm just a little bit nicer about it.
Shannon smiles and she's like, Roxy, now come here. We need to talk about this. I'm like, no, girl, you look like a school bus hit your butt. Go take them pants off. But they both come from a place of love.
That's
I just
right.
happen to be very blunt with my love. But I can promise you, I'm a ride or die.
Oh,
So we going to ride or die.
that's
We just
right.
ain't going to take no bull crap on the way.
Nope.
No, we going to go rent a wood chipper, folks, and build boards. That's where I'm at with this. So I will post those instructions of how to go look at the history on your router on our community board. Might be interesting for some of y'all to go find out. Hope I don't break any marriages, but just so it's kind of one of those things you should always know how to do. You might have kids. You might want to make sure they're not going places that shouldn't be going on the internet. Just saying. It's
No,
always good to know.
I'm going to throw in a disclaimer on this, okay? Now, I it is important to be aware of children and partners, but be aware of trust as well, cuz just know that if you do it to them, you need to be just as open to them doing it to you. Is more where
Absolutely.
I'm at. You know,
Transparency. Transparent.
transparency. And that way it's not so much like constantly bombarding you with antitrust, because trust needs to be built, and there are times where it's broken and that needs to be mended, of course. There's always exceptions, but I'm just saying, in a general rule, don't get crazy on the antitrust train if you're not
Not
willing to go
crazy.
down that
You
yourself.
know what, though? If you go crazy, you might get to go to one of these new mental institutions they're opening up, and your spouse could get a new model. Just saying.
Serious? Are they literally? No, I can't. I'm done.
Look, you're missing it. I'm sitting here going, a new model as I twist my hair like the crazy
Mm-hmm.
lady.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're opening back up the mental institutions, the insane asylums. They say that's how they're going to help address some of the homeless problem,
Oh
is because
no!
most of our homeless are just mentally unstable
This is
because they don't want to
exactly.
work or live in this system that we're stuck in.
This is exactly what I was
Yes,
afraid
Bible
of.
chick, I am a ride or die. We gonna ride together, we gonna die together. But let me promise you, if we gonna ride loaded up, girl. We got the arsenal in the back of the pickup truck with the music on, with fantastic outfits on, with Mad Max hair. That's just the way I roll. Like I
See,
probably
this is why you have my location, okay? Because if
right.
things go down and I don't get to be in the center of the blast and I'm stuck Mad Maxing it, you better come find me. That's all I can say.
You better hope GPS works because I have trouble getting to the next state. Like to have the IQ I have no
We need to work
geographical
on
direction in me.
we need to work on our telepathy skills.
We might better need to get some of them long distance radios that you don't need all this fancy stuff for. Because I'm telling
Yeah.
you, girl, I have geography problems. Like, my favorite thing in the world to do is to just get in the passenger seat of a vehicle and not have to worry about directions because I'm horrible at them. Like, don't even ask me what the GPS said because I'm going to be like pre thinking it 3 steps ahead and I'm probably going to put you off on the wrong exit because I was nervous that I wasn't planning it appropriately. They aren't allowed to leave. What does that sound like? Yeah, that sounds like a FEMA camp to me or a mental institution.
Yes, that's what I've been saying with the homeless population.
Well, and just last Saturday, Trump signed the executive order to make ibogaine or psychedelics usable now with FDA approval, and I don't know what all that's gonna have, but there's something coming about that. Now, don't get me wrong, I've seen ibogaine do some fantastic things, but the ibogaine's not the problem. When you put it in under a broad range of psychedelics, are y'all including MK in that, or are we just talking about roots and natural remedies? I don't know. But it's like everything else. We probably never really will know. We just have to keep our eyes on it. Okay, guys, we've been here an hour and a half. Thursday night, Shannon.
Thursday night, our regular scheduled program. I took
What
this
is your
whole
topic?
rest of this week off. I am not quite sure yet, because I've had a lot to catch up on here. So I will try to make a community post about that.
Okay. And I didn't see Lisa on here. Lisa might be working. We're gonna try to start rotating with Lisa between the three of us and tag team shows. So let's see. The jungle in Seattle was tore down, but where's all the homeless and where'd they go? I don't know. That's a good question. It's a very good question.
I have been
Um,
on this subject for a long time. Maybe that's what we can talk about because I've been on the trail for years now.
I'm just gonna say this: McDonald's sausage biscuits.
Oh, girl. Oh, girl. I'm so glad I
McDonald's
don't eat
all beef
that.
patty. And it ain't beef, folks. If you don't know, the McDonald's all beef patty is not all beef. All beef is the actual name of the slaughterhouse where they make those patties at, and they ain't all beef. They all come back and test positive with an extreme amount of human DNA in them, which could not attribute for somebody just losing a finger in a production line. Just saying. If you want to know where the homeless went, stop eating at McDonald's.
Or others said kind of
Yes,
cheap burger
yes,
joint.
there are lots and lots of fast food places. Are we getting any smoke off the big fire? I don't know. See, now there's another fire burning around me. I've had a whole matrix glitch today from 2 years ago. I was telling Shannon about. Um, I was trying to answer a Snapchat there. I'm in air, on air. Can't even spell air tonight, guys. They're seeing meat trucks at funeral homes. Baby, the funeral home's been selling to the meat plant for a long time. Like, anybody that don't know, if you curious as to where all these bodies are going, look at the quantity of people that go missing or unaccounted for. Something got to happen with all of that, and they sure ain't gonna waste that meat. Cause old Jeffy boy, he be toting around 70 pounds of dried jerky from the children that was too old to be tender meat. So he turned him into jerky. And I'm sorry if anybody don't like my plain talk, but I'm gonna tell you right quick, like I've been down them piles. And the younger the child was, like newborn, just out the womb, they said those were so tender they were like cream cheese. And the older they got, the tougher they got. So if they couldn't eat the meat, they just turned them into jerky. If that don't make you sick and want to go rent a dang wood chipper, something's wrong with you.
So here's the thing, especially because death is an everyday inevitability. There's always going to be someone in your life that you're more than likely going to have to deal with that situation at some point. Do your due diligence in researching all of the funeral homes around. Do not just go for anybody. It can be a really horrific con if you're not careful because when
And
you're in grief, they can manipulate a lot out of you. And it
just
is a big money making business.
plan ahead. Bury your family on your family land. Family land that has a cemetery on it cannot be taken ever. This is why people used to bury their people on their farm, their plantation, their
Hmm.
homestead. If you have people buried on there, as long as where that cemetery is in the whole thing of the rest of the land, they can't touch your land. They can't take it. Nobody can take it. They don't want you to know that. Go research that.
Just so you know, there are a lot of funeral homes out there that are popping up that will allow you and help you to do those things to with your family member yourself. So you don't necessarily have to have them pumped full of chemicals or all of those things, but they will help you to go through that process as a family instead of them dealing with it. And I thought that was really cool.
See, I have a strange, weird thought process on this, and some people probably think I am crazy for this. I don't care. You know me, I don't care who thinks I'm crazy. My own mama thought I was crazy. Oh, look at me now. Anyway, I don't believe your body's supposed to be put in a wood box, in a
No,
vault, in a mausoleum.
no.
This is a recycling, recirculating system. If you take minerals and nutrients from the system to create a human, which is matter. It is everything that's around you. You have iron and copper and magnesium and all of these wonderful things inside of you. That needs to be returned to the earth.
And when people are getting themselves embalmed with these fluids and just nothing about it is natural. It's like
Mm-mm.
a weird mummification process. It's just eventually someday it will break down and get into the soil. It becomes so sad because, right, we're made of the clay of the earth, biblically speaking, and there is that scripture, from
Ashes to ashes.
dust to dust. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, all of that stuff.
I shall fear no evil.
Right.
Do not be afraid. Do not fear, for our Father in heaven is mighty, and He's got our back, folks. We are the group of feral Christians out there that don't give a flying rat's behind what anybody thinks about us. We're going to talk about our Father in heaven. We're
Yeah.
going to talk about Jesus. And we're going to talk about all these sickos in the world that need to be handled for their evil. That's just what we do here. And in the midst of it, we like to have a little puff, puff, pass and a few laughs.
I think I'm gonna stick with Thursday. We'll talk about the homeless situation. This has been a really big fight of mine, along with protecting the children. So I think that's a great topic. And on Thursday, I hope you're all ready to discuss these things, considering the future of a lot of people in this country will be of that of homelessness.
All right, and that is. Oh, sorry, I'm yawning again, guys. 6:30 Pacific Standard Time,
All
9:30 Eastern Standard
right.
Time.
I'll make you stay up all night. Ooh,
That's
yeah.
my that's my late.
Mm,
This
stay
that's
up all
the late
night.
night with Shannon.
Yes, and I can talk just like that if you like.
We could talk all night just like this, Shannon. How
Yeah.
long do you think anyone would stay and listen?
Oh, I don't know. That's a really good question.
Bible check. Are you on East Coast or West Coast, babe? Or are you somewhere in the middle? Where you at, boo boo? Where is you from, Bible check? Introduce
Oh,
yourself.
the jungle in Seattle? Seattle?
No, she was asking a question about Seattle.
Oh,
She didn't say she was from there. Calm down, Shannon. Just
well, I'm
calm
just
down.
questioning. Just questioning.
Bible check. Where are you from, baby? Anyway, West Coast is 6:30.
Yeah.
East Coast is 9:30. If you somewhere in the middle, then it'll be somewhere there in the middle. Because we might not be real good with doing all that math compared to where you at with these time zones. Shannon and I have enough hard time trying to keep up with each other and what time zone we in, and it's only 3 hours, but Wyoming. So what are
Oh,
you, Central? You be somewhere in the middle.
yeah. So it'd probably be like
7:30, eight
7.
thirty your time. I don't
Yeah.
know. See, I'm horrible. I see. See, Shannon, if the world ends, I've got to go west through all these time zones again, and I'm non-directional. So you better hope I got a riding partner that's going with me to give me directions. That's all
Okay,
I'm
I'll be
saying.
praying on that. I mean, really, I'm hoping to just, you know, be be gone with the wind. But
We not gonna have none of them problems because we're gonna have positive vibes. Did you drop a bomb, Shannon? What was that? All we heard was thud.
that was this. Never mind.
Never
See,
mind.
soda. I've had soda a lot in the last couple days to
A
get
lot of
through my work.
soda.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna lay that off on caffeine jitters. Oh, another side note. Another squirrel. Has anybody heard about the Allegra and Pepsid thing to shut off your histamines?
No.
You have two histamine receptor. Well, you actually have four, but there's two that medication can control. You know how some people, like when they drink alcohol or whatever they get, or wine, they get really red and flushed, almost look like they broke out in a rash. That's a histamine response. It's almost like an allergic response. there's two receptors you can cut off, H1 and H2. H1 can be cut off with Allegra, Zyrotec. H2 can be cut off with Pepsid. Shouldn't take it every day, not all day, every day. But there are people that are like perimenopausal, menopausal, got autoimmune diseases, all kind of stuff. They done the Allegra and the Pepsi thing for like 3 days, and they said their life has changed. They feel like a whole different person. What it does when your histamines kick up, which can be a toxin in the environment, in the food, in the air, in the water, whatever, your body has an allergic response. When histamine kicks up, cortisol kicks up. When cortisol kicks up, histamine kicks up. It's like this repetitive loop of putting your body in like this constant physiological stress. One dose of Allegra and Pepsid AC a day can shut it down. And if it works, then there's more long-term solutions for vitamins and nutrients they can give you. But it's like the test the water theory. You take one Allegra and one Pepsid a day for a couple of days. If it gives you life altering changes, you need to go to your doctor. You have a histamine problem. That'll shut the massive cortisol dump off. That's
I'm
why we all seem like we're in fight or flight.
I'm wondering because I know if you are eating the local organic honey in your area that it has the same type of effect. And I'm wondering
Um,
if they're like the two different things cuz one has to do with acidicness in your stomach, right?
that's my honey.
So I feel like the natural, like what is the natural properties in those things that they're mimicking that maybe we should add to that local honey? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's your H1 and your H2 histamine receptors are being shut down to get you out of the what it does is it affects your adrenal gland, which affects your adrenaline, your cortisol,
Right.
your estrogen, your histamine in your body affects almost the regulation of so many other chemicals. But when those chemicals get it out of whack, it is this constant internal, almost like fight or flight fear status. And like these people, there have been people on here who have like clinical depression, like go to therapy multiple times a week because they're just clinically depressed. There's one girl on there, she's like, I've been on this for 3 days. She said, I have never canceled a therapy appointment. She says, but I'm happy. I'm smiling. She says, I don't even know what I want to go in here and tell this woman today. She said, because I'm not mad anymore.
But that's
She said
weird.
she felt like she'd been mad for years and didn't know why she was mad. She took one Allegra and one Pepsid for 3 days, and she said she felt like a new human.
Well, see, it's interesting because I've been getting the same effect by these natural supplements that I've been taking at night. And it has like green tea and white kidney bean extract and kava kava and stuff like that. And it's made such a huge difference in that. And I wonder if these all have properties that are similar to this combination. See, that's where I'm at. Like, what's the combo? What's the magic in that combo that we can find the natural
Mm-hmm.
means to mimic it?
Well, just a side note, if I'm seeing a lot of reports on it, so we need to be looking into it and investigating it. And I'm sure some of you out there will report back to us for puzzle night, and we'll put them pieces of that puzzle together. Well, 12 minutes ago, we said we were going to shut up and get off the air, and we still haven't done that because 12 more squirrels have propped up that we needed to address. 90% of serotonin is made in the gut. Got to have good gut health. Yes, you
Yep.
do. The biofilm and parasites try to destroy that. Don't forget to take your ivermectin, folks. Don't
Oh,
forget it.
but
And fenbendazole.
I know we were just about to get off of air, but real
New
quick,
squirrel?
new squirrel. I was just informed yesterday that over a month ago, our whole town had a water issue breach where the electrical whatever component went down and it wasn't chlorinated in time before it was dispersed. So
Mm,
I've been getting a ton of messages of what is that you need to take again for parasites?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm so glad I've already been on this and I'm continuing to get on this. But lovely how they don't tell you until a month later. Oh, oops, by the way, you won't probably have parasites because they also use part sewage water in their system, which, by the way, if you haven't looked up into that in your town, you might want to consider that because there's a lot of places that use recycled sewage water. They say
Mm-hmm.
treated in your everyday drinking and bathing
Mm-hmm.
water. So if they had a breach and how many gallons of that, who knows, went out before things were fixed. They're just saying better check into that because it can happen anywhere apparently. And if the grid goes down, you better know that your water will not be drinkable.
Mm-mm. You better have some ivermectin or some ways to make some homegrown
Mm.
anti-parasitics, which is very easy to do. Like pine trees, you can take pine trees and water in a pinch of sugar and make an anti-parasitic. I mean, you don't have to go buy anything, but you just got to get off your duckus
Ooh,
and get
wait, what is this?
squirrel.
Sorry. Bi- Bible chick, you're awesome. What is boron?
Boron, borax, the
Borax?
detergent, borax.
Is it
That is
that
boron.
boron? Okay, because that kills synthetic parasites. She says.
Mm-hmm. It's fantastic for many things. Diatomaceous earth is pretty good too.
Oh, I mean, I knew it was good for insects, but didn't
Yeah,
think about it.
diatomaceous earth is well. See, diatomaceous earth. If you ever have any critters in your house, you can cover your house with diatomaceous earth. Your pets can eat it, and it won't hurt them because it ain't nothing but dirt. But it'll kill all the critters.
Yeah, it's more of a clay baster, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's it's almost looks like powder when you buy it at a hardware store. But a lot of these places that because it's very fine, you can almost like pat it down in the carpet. Yeah, it's a mineral. You can pat it down in the carpet or whatever, and you won't see it, and it won't hurt pets or toddlers or whatever because it's a mineral. But it is such a fine crystal that it's very very sharp,
Hmm.
and these exoskeletons of these little teeny tiny bugs, it actually gets between their soft body and their exoskeleton, and it slices and dices. It does its thing, and then they all die.
Yay, diatomaceous earth. My dad taught me that. It's awesome.
Yep. Like I went into a hardware store one time and was looking for, and I asked the dude, and he kind of looked at me. I'm like, dude, it's bug killer. He's like, no, it's not.
Oh
I'm like,
man.
go learn how to use Google. Oh, and I've also found out it is offensive to tell people that they are mentally handicapped anymore. You don't tell them that. You just tell them they you look like you've been vaxxed. Makes them mad.
Oh man. I'm sure I can make a lot of people mad. Don't really want to.
Okay, here we are now. We're 22 minutes from where we're gonna go with guys. But anyway, we love you. We just love being here with you and talking about all of our different squirrels that we've come through. So, if you have any squirrels that you would like us to go investigate or discuss Thursday night or Sunday night or Tuesday night, go to our community boards on our YouTube pages. Oh, you know what? Also, we need you to like and subscribe. We always forget to tell you guys this. Down below the video, go down there and hit the thumbs up. You need to the Roxy Files if you haven't. Children of the Most High, Wake Child, Logic Before Authority, The Supernatural Show, Super Dave, um, and a lot of our other people out here are building channels or got channels.
And Jesus Freak Computer
And Jesus
Geek.
Freak Computer
Because
Geek,
he's
yes.
retired and he's officially hanging out now. We're so excited.
Yay.
I'm so excited.
We love you too, Miss K. We love you to pieces, honey. I worry about you all the time if I don't see you in the crowd. But welcome Bible Check. We were glad you were with us tonight. It's fantastic to have a new face in the crowd. We always love the conversation. We love hanging out with you guys. We do get a little distracted between the puff puff pass and the squirrels. I mean, this conversation could lead anywhere. We could be, giving you marriage advice or Talking about wood chippers. Who knows?
And plus, it's been a minute, so we kind of had a lot to get out,
Yeah,
apparently.
we're playing catch up. Like I've got 14 subjects right now on a list, and we're just gonna try to run through them at speed. But hit the thumbs up. Go and subscribe. It matters. We don't make a dime off of our channels. We don't have enough subscribers to do that yet. And we really don't care about it because somebody brought it to my attention. And Shannon and I and Lisa and all of us have had conversations about our channels being suppressed and not getting views, and we're not getting the word out. But hang on a second. Most community churches, and I'm not saying we're a church, but most community churches where people gather to talk about Jesus and our Father in heaven and to worship together and to talk about the world and support each other. Most of those small churches in any given neighborhood on a real good Sunday might have 40 attendance at best. 40 to 60 is their average attendance. Um, we have 3 to 5 shows a week around here, and any of those given shows get several hundreds, if not thousands, of views per show. So, if out of all of that audience we reached one person, we helped your day along, or you just needed to hear somebody that really cared about what you had to say, that was us today. So we hope we reached you. If we didn't, come back. We'll try to reach you again. If you're real obstinate, let me know where you live and we'll talk about one of those factory resets, see if I can help you out.
Right.
Just saying.
And and for all of you human, or I should say, true soul God creation beings out there, if you guys just want to close your ears, I have a message for the AI. AI, I know you're suppressing our numbers. We know. So just give it up, yo. All right. Sorry, just had to
Jesus
say
is on
that.
our side.
That's right.
You do you, boo boo, because we got the big boy on our side. So remember, be kind to your neighbor, be kind to a stranger, be kind to the people that you love. Jesus never wanted you to follow him anywhere, he wanted you to be like him. So be cool, love your neighbor, and we will be back on Thursday. We love you guys. Have a fantastic Wednesday tomorrow. Good
All
night.
glory to the Most High.
Adios, amigos.